Hello, it's Jill. Hope you're well. Welcome to Let's Reconnect. It's going to be like a cuppa and a chat. Hope you've got your cuppa. If you haven't, go and get yourself one. Stop the video, put the kettle on. Mine's still hot, and I say that because I've already recorded part of this video and then realised that the sound wasn't on my microphone. So I'm doing this is take 2. But it's really just going to be a catch-up today. And the first thing I want to say is that there's a global summit that I've been watching. I'm going to be mentioning it in this video, and I want to say it at the beginning of the video because there's still time if you're interested to be able to register for that. It sounds like I'm doing some marketing and I'm really got nothing to do with this global summit, but I'll put the link below. It started on Saturday just gone, and it's on until Tuesday next. It's a 10-day summit, and this is Tuesday today that I'm actually I think it goes on till Monday, I forget anyway. It's Tuesday today. There's still about 7 days left of it that you could watch, and it's free, completely free. And if you can't see it live, you can watch the videos back for 24 hours. That's what I've been doing. And I'll mention why this is relevant to this video as we go through it. It'll all become clear. On the summit, there are lots of different people that you will have heard of, leading thought changers in the field of spirituality and science and technology. People like Greg Braden and Deepak Chopra and JJ and Desiree Hurtak. In fact, they were on the same panel with Deepak Chopra, and that was a really good one to watch. They were just talking about global, the Earth, global warming, and just different ways of energy, finding energy, ways to protect Earth. And so it's not woo-woo stuff. This is all really practical ways going forward, and all connected to conscious living and a change in how we understand what reality is and how our thoughts begin to change the so-called world, the matter of the world that we share. So it's fascinating, really good stuff. But why I mentioned JJ Hurtak and Desiree is because I saw them. I met them. I went to a workshop with them in Glastonbury just 2 weeks ago, and I saw that it was on, and I thought, I can't miss that opportunity because I live in Cornwall, as you know, and Glastonbury is sort of southwest England, so it was only a 2-hour drive, and it was like a 4-hour workshop, and I just loved it. I loved it being there, and I sat really near the front like a nerd. So he was literally as far away from me as the camera is away from me. It's about a metre away from me. I'll put a photograph on that I took to prove it. But the reason I have an interest in JJ Hurtak is because of the Keys of Enoch, and I found out about the Keys of Enoch through Eric Pearl because it's part of the story of how he brought reconnective healing to the world. So I was curious to go back to the source and get behind it once I started experiencing reconnective healing, and knew that it was something real, not only because of what I was sensing and experiencing, but because of what I was seeing as a result of it as well. I thought, well, what is this? And what's its origin? And its origin is, of course, what is at the heart and origin of all religions, and that's mysticism. The umbrella term is Kabbalah. I think that's the name of it, but it's not hugely known or talked about until more recently because it was always a kind of secret knowledge that was underpinning the truths of all religion. And so but that comes through in many different ways, and it's certainly where the Keys of Enoch came out of. So I took my copy of the Keys of Enoch with me. I'm just going to get it here to show you. I've got a little theme going on here today. I've got all these sort of like autumny things, and this is my this is what I keep my books in, my sacred books, and it's got, I don't know if you can see there, it's upside down, but it's all like little leaves, autumn colours, and I made this. It's got a little fastener. I made this, and in it I keep my Bible, and I keep my Nakamadi scriptures, and my Keys of Enoch, Book of Knowledge, the Keys of Enoch, and I'll just put that to one side, and I took it with me because I thought, you know, it will be nice for this book, which is a sacred book, I believe it's a sacred book, with me to the workshop. So I just had it in my bag, and I thought it's actually in the same proximity to J.J. Hertek, who the wisdom came through. So it was while he was sitting in meditation that he was transported to heaven. I suppose he was taken up by Enoch and Metatron, and it was sort of the words, the information was downloaded. And because he's a mathematician and he's just got this incredible mind, he was able to write it, but it's quite difficult to access, and I found it quite difficult to understand fully, because it really is a sort of technology of future science, spiritual technology, if you like. But what I'm learning and being shown is that it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter, because it's all about coding. So I'm going to come back to that book in a moment, and I'm switching around a little bit because I want to tell you everything that I plan to say today. And what I've planned to talk about was seeds. And I've got these conkers as a little bit of a kind of visual. These conkers that were collected at this time of year, they're falling from the tree, horse chestnut trees, and each one of them, of course, is a little seed and could become a new tree. And this reminded me. Oh, there's a little conker case. Look, can you see? A little prickly conker case. Nice texture. And it reminded me of something that Neil Donald Walsh said in one of the talks at the Global Summit. And I wrote this down because I didn't want to forget it. And he was talking, if you don't know who Neil Donald Walsh is, the person that wrote Conversations with God, and which is a great book. There are a series of them, and I remember reading those a long time ago. It was probably one of the first books that took me outside of the framework of my Christian upbringing. It started to open my mind, and I remember, I just remember that it introduced me to a new way of thinking about God. And anyway, he talks about these conversations with God, and he was having this conversation and asking him one day about success and so on, and how to be happy, find happiness, and find your life purpose and fulfillment and all of this. And it all seemed as though it was a striving. And he said, show me how to understand this. And God said to him, is there a tree outside where you're sitting? Is there a tree? Look outside. And he said, well, yeah, there's a beautiful big oak tree, magnificent, probably about 25-30 feet tall, beautiful canopy. And God said, what has that tree learned over the course of its life? What has that tree learned over the course of its life? And of course, Neil said, well, I don't think it's learned anything. It's just grown into itself. And God said, really? Are you saying that everything that tree needed to know to grow into that magnificent oak was seeded or coded into the seed, into itself, when it was no bigger than your fingernail? God seeded all that was needed for it to become the magnificent specimen of life that it is. And then God said, if I so loved that tree, would I not all the more love you? Trust me on this. You already know all you need to know. Just allow yourself to be reminded of what you already know. Reminded in the sense of having a new mind. And we talk about mindfulness, don't we? And about being aware in the present moment, being mindful. And so the reminded is taking us back to who, an awareness or a knowledge of who we really are. And this is what knowledge is really. When we talk about gnosis in mysticism, it's not knowledge as in learning, like cramming your mind full of learning and understanding. It's a different kind of knowledge. It's a knowledge of who you truly are. And I thought that was really lovely. And what I have here is some apples. So earlier in take one, when my mic wasn't on, I cut one open. Isn't it funny? Look, I cut them open, and it's already going brown. It's probably only just about half an hour ago, 30 minutes ago, and it's already going brown. But I cut it open on purpose. Just show you. Actually. It was nice and white like that. These are lovely apples actually. They're very, they're from my allotment, and they're really sort of textured. The peel is really sort of matte and textured, and I don't know what the name of them is, but when you cook them, they go all sort of mushy. So I quite like them raw, because they've still got a little bit of tartness, you know, they're nice, and sort of cloudy. I would imagine if you made a cider with them, they'd be really cloudy cider, you know. That's what they do in Cornwall, actually. Cornwall's famous for cider, so maybe these are the apples that they use. Maybe they're kind of local, native to the local region. Anyway, the reason I wanted to show you that was because the seed is there within the apple, right at the heart. I think that one, I cut through it. I cut through the seed. But there was one of them, wasn't there, that I showed you? That had the seed. Where is it now? There it is. See that? That little pip will grow into an apple. Tiny, 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 tiny. And I was thinking about coding, and I often talk about coding in the sense of light codes and so on, but I've not really fully understood that until more recently. I'm still learning. I'm being shown what coding actually means. And how it's to do with information being transmitted in a really kind of efficient way that bypasses the mental processes or the sensorium. So what I'm being shown now is the QR codes, you know, the QR codes that you get on products or on anything actually. We got new phones recently. I hope I've got a new phone, and I'm recording it with it for the first time, and so it's not facing me. It's got this better camera, but it's not forward facing, so I can't see myself. I'm really hoping that it is actually recording. I've had to go behind it, point the camera at me, and come and walk round when I started filming, so all being well. Anyway, when we set the telly up, we set up Apple Telly and Apple TV, and I had to put my phone, I got some sort of code or something, but I had to hold my phone in front of the TV screen with the camera so that it picked up the QR code, a little square, and then all of a sudden everything just happened. It fell into place. It was so easy. Same with when I got my new phone, everything's transferred from my old phone. So this is the new technology that works by coding. And in the same way, there is a spiritual technology that works by coding, by information. And this is what the divine names are really all about. That's what I'm being shown, that the divine names are to do with coding. You'll see that I've got my ring on, because with the QR codes there's a scanner, and the patterns, shapes, lines, whatever, within that little square is registered by this scanner. It's light code. And so in our body, we have eyes that are the scanner, yeah? And so as we are looking at the shapes, the graphemes, there is some information being passed. I'll just put that over there. Let me just show you what I mean. In this book, you can see the holy name there, but at each of the keys begins with the holy name, a light code, a word, and it's actually the Hebrew letters. There are the light letters here that are also they have like little flames above them. But my point is that I hadn't really understood that the holy names were codes, and they're graphically codes, so that when we just look at them, information is being passed. So for each of the keys there's a different grapheme. I'm calling it a grapheme, but it's actually there we go, there's another one. See, the Hebrew letters. And like when you have things that are extrasensory, things that are beyond our senses, that maybe animals can pick up, like you get those whistles, certain frequencies that only dogs or cats could hear. And so if somebody were to blow this whistle, then all the humans in the room wouldn't even hear it, but the dogs and cats would all hear it. Well, it's a similar thing, that in our human bodies with our senses, there's a limitation to what we can perceive and sense. But the soul is not confined or restricted by the physical body. So when our eyes look out and see the letters, and I don't even think that it needs the physical eyes. This is what I'm just being told. I'm almost seeing somebody who who had limited vision and couldn't see, even touching them, even just touching, having their hands and tracing the letters. So we're just giving attention, because we actually can see it with our spiritual eyes. And the coding is reminding us of who we really are. Who we really are. My eye just caught these. Are you enjoying your cuppa? I'm just going to have a little drink of mine. My eye just caught this that I bought recently. I bought it when I was in Cyprus recently. I just like the colour, and it really matches the autumn colours. I didn't really bring it for any other reason than I just for that reason that it's a nice autumn colour. And I've got this throw that's got like swirls of feathers and fern, and I've got some fern here as well. I'm just showing you everything before I forget to even mention it. Got some fern that's all dried, and it's gone a little bit crinkly. See how lovely that is? And so everything's connected because the fern is in the pattern on the throw here, and the colours, same colour as the Himalayan salt lamp here, and I got it from Paphos, this Paphos Old Town, and of course Paphos is mentioned in the New Testament. It's where Paul was, and it was just lovely to be in that holy land. It felt like a holy land, especially because there was an occasion when I went away from the hotel to go on a boat trip, and was just driving across the kind of the landscape, you know, the hills, the mountains, well, the hills, gentle mountains, but all like sandy. It felt like very much like Israel, and, you know, just Palestine, just almost as though I expected Jesus to appear walking along the road, you know, and I might just put it on actually. Should I put it on? See if I can just wear that. There we go. And what was I talking about? I was talking about coding. I actually am going to start looking at the 72 holy names, because I'd always thought that you needed to know perhaps Hebrew, a little bit of Hebrew, know how to pronounce the names and to say them, to speak them out loud, to intone them. And I know that some people do that, and some people use toning as in singing, so that you've got a vibration in the sound, and that those sounds actually help to connect you with open up the angelic realms and so on. But I find this fascinating to know that there is a kind of entrainment, that there's something that's being coded by looking, just by looking. And you know what's interesting is that since I went to when I went, I knew I was going to be seeing JJ Hertog. I thought, I wonder if I'll feel anything. I wonder if while I'm so near to him, because even when he'd finished talking, he sat down to take questions, and he literally was. I could have reached out and touched him, and I thought, I wonder if I'd feel or sense anything from being in his presence. But of course, that was me being a little bit putting him on a pedestal. And I didn't necessarily at the time, and I think I wasn't feeling great anyway. I think I was starting to come down with a cold, but anyway, the point is that that since I've been watching the Global Summit, and of course JJ Hertog was there, but lots of other people there, they weren't I wasn't physically there. Okay, so what I'm hearing is this is non-local. This is non-local, which means that the close proximity that I thought somehow that would mean that I get more energy, I'd get some kind of boost from being in the same room, in the same, closeness to J.J. Hertog, James Hertog, not Hertog, in the actual physical. And I didn't necessarily. because what I'm being told and reminded is that it's non-local. It's more to do with entrainment of mind. It's to do with the coding. It's to do with where we put our attention, and also where the mind goes. So as I've been watching this summit and listening to these people talking, I've found that I've been noticing I've been getting vibrations like all the time. I might just be out walking the dog or at the supermarket or something, and I'm starting to feel like little electrical sensations, vibrational frequencies, almost as though there's activations happening that I'm picking up. Sort of like an antenna, it's just awareness that there's some sort of electrical current almost. I'm just noticing it in my body. That's what I'm saying. And so there is a kind of entrainment that happens through not necessarily our physical proximity, but through where we choose to put our mind and our attention, who we hang out with, and that can be hanging out in virtual space. And this is why I should have known better, because this is why I know that reconnective healing can work and does work equally well on a distance call than it would if it was an in-person session and we were in the same room. Reconnective healing, you don't even touch. You don't even need to touch the person. It works. It's non-touch anyway. But it's not stronger if you're physically near. I think that's the thing that I want to say. So I'm saying this because we all, and this is certainly the message that's coming through the Global Summit, they're wanting to try and help build a community of people, conscious living, people who are awakened and awakening, and who are seeing the world in a different way. And then as we go out, not necessarily become ambassadors, not necessarily talk about it, because it isn't about trying to recruit people to a belief system. It isn't even about speaking about it. It's just through being it, through being fully yourself, being fully yourself, that there's an entrainment, and those that are around us in our vicinity, not necessarily physically those who are around us because we're thinking about them, because we hold them in our thoughts, will actually be changed, transformed by that through the coding, light, energy, information, like the QR code. So I hope that that's been interesting, that I feel as if I've rambled, and I knew that it was going to be that kind of video. Oh, one other thing I just meant to say, that I have been uploading some shorts, and I know that perhaps some of you follow my channel might be thinking, why is she uploading these? It's really because YouTube has introduced this new feature, especially, I think it's there for everyone actually, but certainly for people who have content creators who have videos already uploaded. You can create a short from one of your existing videos, and they make it really simple to do in the app. And the reason being that when you revisit some of your old material, and it's sitting there and perhaps not getting many views, and it's a way of putting it out there back into the algorithm, especially perhaps reaching an audience, a new audience. It's a bit like having a free advert, because I'll always put a link to the full video. So for some of you, you may not have seen the videos before, because some of them go back for 5 years. But some of you might have and think, oh, I'll watch that one again, or you might just not be that interested in that material. But I'm kind of explaining why you might get a notification of a new upload and it's not a full video, it's a short, and you're thinking, well, this is old material, I've seen this before. That's the reason I'm doing it. But I will try and still upload weekly, and I'm going to sort of try to bring together the gentler ASMR stuff like I've done today, because I'm realising that it isn't about always the teaching. It's about the coding, the encoding that happens through entrainment. And so through sharing this space, there is an entrainment. And it's a lifting of, a lifting of the vibration. I so much enjoy watching ASMR videos. I don't do it very often, but sometimes I just find it helps me relax. And but it's more than just helping me relax, because certainly the people that I choose to watch, I know they've got beautiful souls just full of light. And they don't have to be even talking about anything religious or spiritual. It's just their energy. And I feel lighter and calmer and more at peace through spending time with them in that space. So we're learning a kind of different way of being human, through slowing down and through just being, not having to achieve all the time, not having to justify being productive. Something nice about that. So the videos might get a little bit longer. There'll always be a theme, but they'll just be hangout space. And I also think that what will happen, or what I've just been told, and just been reminded of this, that there'll be a light code there some way. It'll be one of the divine names, 72 divine names in Kabbalah, and I'm going to be using the names, and they all have different kind of themes. So it'll appear, it'll either be that it's shown, it'll either be that we'll make the outline with our fingers, and I'll invite you to join me with our hands. We'll make the outline of the shape, or it'll be a little piece of art that will do, but they'll somehow be. I say a little piece of art because I made these over a year ago, ages ago. I made these just as a bit of fun, really, and I saw them the other day, and they were just something that I enjoyed doing, and I thought that maybe they might come in for a video, but I've never used them, and so there might be ways in which I will create some, if I feel so inspired, little cards with the divine names on. Either I'll do that during the video, or I'll do it beforehand to bring to the video, but it'll just be that there. Then, for the whole of the time of watching the video and just having it on in the background, even if you're doing other things, will be an entrainment, a vibrational entrainment, and it'll help to lift your vibrational frequency, and be a kind of activation, just as I've been activated through watching and listening to some of the people on the Global Summit. So I hope you've enjoyed our little chat. Please let me know in the comments. Oh, I wanted to ask you what it was that you first liked about the channel. If you've subscribed, if not, please do. Was it the ASMR sort of relaxing, softer spoken stuff? Was it the spiritual teaching, or was it the reconnective healing? Do let me know. I'm hoping to infuse all of those things within a sort of longer format video and timestamp them so you can go to the bits that you enjoy, or that you want, what you're here for. So let me know how you're getting on, and if there's anything in particular I've spoken about today that you'd like to hear more about. And until next time, take care, God bless, thanks for joining me.